Welcome to Toffee TV. There's my three things. Everton 1, Arsenal 0 at Goodison Park today. A huge win for Everton, their first victory since October the 22nd, I think it is. And a clean sheet as well to go with it. And a great win for the Blues today. An unexpected win for a lot of people. It was, I wouldn't say it was a free hit because it's a home game and Everton are in an area of the season and an area of the table where there can't be any free hits. But it was a huge win. And it's pulled us back into the pack, so that is a big thing for us. First thing I'll talk about is Sean Dyche and his tactics, if that's what you want to say, or certainly what he brings. I think we saw today a lot of what Sean Dyche had spoke about in the week. We saw work rate, we saw effort, we saw commitment from the players. There was a clear structure. If anyone's watched the coach's voice with Sean Dyche about how he talks about a 4-4-2 or a 4-4-1-1. You could see it today. It was so evident how he tries to squeeze the play down one side of the pitch. Yes, but you're open to the switch a lot of times with that, but that relies on your fullback getting out there quickly. And I thought Coleman and Mykolenko did that very well today when they had to. When it was switched out to Saka, straight out there quickly. When it was switched out to the other side to Martinelli, Coleman was out, and then Trossard later on. And that was evident. But I think what we saw today was when a team gives everything it's got and sticks together, you can achieve unlikely results. You know, most people today would have looked at that and gone, it might be a bit more tricky because it's, you know, Sean Dyche and Everton aren't playing well, but, you know, Arsenal should still win it. I think most people would have said that. I think us Evertonians looked at the record beforehand of Arsenal at Goodison and thought, you know, we've got a chance here if we can stay in the game. They're obviously a top side, and that's exactly what it did. And it's given Everton another victory against Mikel Arteta. He's had 3 games as Arsenal manager at Goodison, and he's lost all of them. And as good a side as they are, I think they were a little bit short up front. Nketiah didn't really do anything today, didn't cause us any problems. That's credit to Conor Cody and James Tarkowski for that. But also the fullbacks for, you know, not letting Saka be his creative best, not letting Martinelli round the other side. And again, just to reiterate that work rate and commitment. If you get a team that works that hard, and there is this common misconception that top teams don't have to work hard, they're just top teams full of good players, and if you're a hard-working team, therefore you must be a poor side, and it's nonsense. Every team or any decent team works hard. Teams like Barcelona, Manchester City now in the Premier League, one of the hardest working teams. Arsenal this season being very hard working, got the reward. You know, and that's what Everton have to do. And the way you look at it, whatever Frank Lampard did or didn't do, there was too many games. And this is only one game, by the way. We've seen this before, so I'm not getting carried away in any shape, way or form. Everton have to do this every single time they play. But that is what we used to see going back to like when David Moyes was in charge and Everton were a team that finished in the top 6-7. It was a side that worked its socks off. It had quality in it as well. And more often than not, that was good enough to get Everton in the top 6. That's not where we're looking at now, but what we have seemed to have missed the point with Everton teams since is that hard work. I don't think anyone's been able to sustain that. And it remains to be seen whether Sean Dyche can do that. But today was a very, very good start. But I reiterate, it is just one game. I'm not getting carried away at all. But it was a really, really good start for the Blues. So, tremendous win. Second thing I'm going to talk about is Abdoulaye Doucoure, who has been out the side for whatever reason, and obviously had a very public falling out with Frank Lampard, and then got himself in the team today. I think that might have been one that people were a little bit surprised by. I think I'd seen a lot of people thinking that Neil Maupay was going to play off Dom, because obviously people were going with 4-4-2. But I thought he used Doucoure brilliantly today, and Doucoure responded tremendously well, playing either just off Dom or dropping back alongside Garner and letting Amadou Onana push on. And we really pressed, we pressed really, really well at times, and broke up Arsenal's play, forced them back or forced them to just smash a ball down the line. But he also was a threat going forward, and he really should have scored, or he should have hit the target rather, in the first half, got himself away, and as the cross comes in, he's found himself in the middle of the goal on his own, and it skidded off his head, and I don't know whether he's closed his eyes at the last minute. But if Everton can get him being effective, yes, he's got, there's a conversation to have with him at the end of the season about extending. But he didn't want to leave Everton. He just wasn't playing, which therefore there was a lot of talk about him leaving in January. Now, he stayed, so he's here till the end of the season. So go and either earn a new contract or earn a contract at another club. But if Everton use him right and he performs the way he did today, he can be an important part going forward in these last 17 games. Because at Watford, he averaged half a dozen goals a season. And Everton don't score enough goals. So therefore, we have to, we've got one from James Tarkowski today off a corner. His first goal for Everton. So it's up to Doucoure now, if he's in there, to make sure he's getting in them positions in the box and putting the ball in the back of the net and getting us goals from multiple positions. But I just thought he was very, very good today in that midfield, coming in from the cold. And the final thing I want to talk about is the midfield three as a collective. I thought Garner was man of the match for me. I've said it. Said it on me match reaction. He was the best, for me, he's the best player on the pitch in terms of just, he was everywhere. He seemed to be absolutely everywhere. I thought Amadou Onana had probably his best game for Everton as well, or certainly up there. Thought he was exceptional at times. Other times, got to get him in the game a bit more, but when he goes through the gears, you've seen it in the first half when he went down the wing and cut in and rolled it across for Dom. He should have, was unfortunate not to score. No, he should have scored, let's be honest. It was tremendous. He's got that, long-legged tackles, and I think he's brilliant, and he was really good today. And then obviously I've just spoke about Doucoure, but those as a three in midfield, and I know that it was a variation. But Sean Dyche with Burnley played this where he had one of his midfield, it was Jeff Hendrick at the time, had him in a number 10 off the front man. And that might be something that Doucoure or Onana occupy, with the other one sitting alongside Idrissa Gana Gueye. Obviously James Garner's nearly, is approaching full fitness as well, and that's a big one for us as well, because he really will be a new signing. We've not seen hardly anything of him, so that's up to Sean Dyche and Ian Woan and Steve Stone, whatever, to get him ready and give him the information he needs. But it was just very pleasing today that up against a really, really good side, that midfield did its job in the main, and it was the big reason why we've won the game, and you've got Onana giving it all this, and that's fine when you're doing your job. Let's make sure you're doing your job. Today, he did his job, but I just thought it was really interesting that Sean Dyche and Won't, they've only had a few days, but they had that midfield structure looking really good. Obviously, there's big tests every week now. The Merseyside derbies next week, it's at Anfield. It's a different game. It's the crowd aren't there to our crowd, hostile and everything backing them. They're up against the hostile partisan crowd at Anfield. It'd be different, but they've got to do it week in, week out. But it was a good start today, and we saw that. And because they played their role, then obviously people like Conor Cody, Tarkowski were very good at the back. Michalenko had a good game up against Saka. Seamus Coleman did his job, had a good game up on the other side. Players were able to perform. Dwight McNeil, I've already said in the match reaction, I thought he had a good game as well. Credit where credit's due, worked his socks off. And that all come because the midfield was so competitive and did its job. So that's a really good starting point today. You can't get Everton have done this before, but if Everton work as hard as they did today, they will get themselves out of trouble, and that midfield might be key to that. We might change it up, and it might be they use someone else in there, or he changes the tactics. But today, playing like that, I think if Everton played like that for the rest of the games, they'll be fine. So there you go. There are my three things. Go and enjoy your Saturday night. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. See you later.